I know that the cost of living in Canada right now is really high. Like, the inflation is inflating. And I know it's not only in Canada. I know it's like almost everywhere in the world, and if not everywhere in the world. Sometimes I check things that I buy or things that I've bought, and I compare prices and I'm like, what? I decided to do this video to compare prices of things, utilities, bills, groceries, and all that, and compare what we had in 2023, beginning of 2023, and what we had in later part of 2023, like let's say October, November, December, and early part of 2024, like here in January. I've paid some bills, so, and we also had some increase come into effect this January as well, this year. So we're going to go all through all that and see how high or how expensive Canada really is right now. Hi guys, my name is Tara Bolade. I talk about Canada, all things Canada, immigration, living and thriving in Canada. And if this is the kind of content you like, please subscribe. The goal, guys, is to get to 100 subscribers by end of January. Please help me do that, guys. So let's get started. I'm going to look down maybe because I have my notebook here. I don't want to miss any figures. I wrote them down here, so that's why you see this writer here. So let's start with the most important bill everybody pays, and that's housing. So in Canada, you're either renting or you're paying mortgage. Or like some people that are dons, they had a total buyout for the house, so they don't pay rent or mortgage and all that. But yeah, let's focus on the rent and the mortgage. And guys, I live in Ontario, so you put this into consideration when I say some of those things. And that's because Ontario is more expensive than some provinces in Canada. It's not the most expensive really, but it's also on the high side when compared to some other provinces. So currently for our rent, I stay in a 3-bedroom townhouse currently in Canada, in Ontario, and I pay $2,300 Canadian dollars. And recently the house rent was increased to 2,355. So as at January 2023, we're paying 2,300, and January 2024 we're paying 2,355 CAD, Canadian dollars. And in Ontario, there's a cap, as in landlords cannot just increase rent anyhow. It has to be, the cap is 2.5% of the rent. You can do more than that. You can do less than that, but you can't do more than that. That's the highest that you can go. And that's the highest that our landlord went. That's 2.5. I'm sure if the cap was like maybe 5 or something, 5%, it would have gone up more than that. But I'm grateful that that cap is there. I guess because of the inflation and everything going on, our rent was increased this year. So that's housing. So let's go to the next one, food and grocery. I usually buy food and groceries from two different places, from the major stores and African stores. When I say African stores, some of the things I buy, although I rarely buy those things from the African stores now, because what I try to do, and in also trying to save, is I try to find alternatives. So, or the same thing at the bigger stores, because you realize that the big stores are cheaper than African stores. So I'll give a very good example. When I first came, I used to buy plantain at the African store, and I remember one day I bought about 8 pieces for about $20. And then I went to superstore one day and I bought about almost 20 pieces for about $11. I know you can't get that now because the prices has gone up, but that was then. So you can imagine the difference, right? So ever since I do not really buy things at the African store. So, but for the groceries at the main store, at the major big stores, I shop monthly. So I spend about $150. I used to spend about $150 on groceries, but now for the same amount of grocery that I buy, I pay about $320 for the same amount, guys. The only thing I don't buy from the store, like the big stores, is protein. That's beef, chicken, and all that. Turkey, I buy those ones from the African store. Now, when we talk about turkey, chicken, I buy that. But for beef and goat meat, I buy from somebody else, not from the African store. So this is another way that you can save money. Instead of buying from the African store, you can either go to the farm, but which is actually very stressful, or you find maybe a group, and you guys can contribute money and somebody goes to the farm. But there's a lady that I buy from. She goes to the farm, and of course she has a profit on it, but it's not as high as the African store. So if you want like maybe half a goat, half a cow, full goat, whatever it is, you can do that. I usually spend about $500 on that because I buy half a goat, about 1/8 of cow and half a goat, and sometimes I buy fish in packs and yam in packs as well. So by the time I buy all that, it's usually about $500, and that usually lasts us for about 3 to 4 months. Sometimes if we don't eat it so much, we can go 5 months, but it's usually around 3 to 4 months. But for every month that we go grocery shopping, we spend at least $300 at the store, when unlike before we used to spend about $150. And consider that I still buy fruits every week because my kids, they take fruits to school and they eat fruits every day. So every week I still go to the store and buy fruits. So if you want to calculate everything, right, with the fruits that I buy every week, and you can't go to the store and you just go and buy fruits alone. Something will finish, something, and then before you know, you're spending $50, you're spending $100. So like every month, I'd say that at least I spend about $400 per month. And I'm just trying to not try to over calculate how much I spend, but on an average I spend about $400 every month on groceries, and that's excluding the other things I buy, like the beef and chicken and all that at the other stores. Now, natural gas. Natural gas has also gone up. My voice sounds like I've taken one for the road, but I had flu some few days ago, so I'm just recovering from that. So my voice sounds croaky. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, back to natural gas. We used to pay about $50 per month on natural gas, but right now it's up to about $63. The price of natural gas was increased in October 1st. Is the change, or the increase was effective, came into effect October 1st, 2023. So right now we're paying about $64 compared to about $50 that we're paying previously. Now, going on to water and electricity usually comes together, so that has not really changed, and guys, this is also dependent on your usage as well. So sometimes your usage might be a bit on the high side, sometimes it might be a bit on the low side, like natural, like this water and electricity, for example. I realized that it's always sometimes more expensive during winter. Also natural gas as well. Natural gas is what we use for heating the house during winter. So we really don't heat the house during summer. I have a fan, and sometimes when it's actually very hot, I'm not a cold person really. I don't like the cold at all, so fan is enough. When you put on the AC and it's too much, I'd rather put it off. So I have a fan, and so the bill goes down during summer. I'm really looking forward to what the bill for natural gas will be, or what it will look like this summer, after the increase in October. So yeah, guys, I was talking about water and electricity. We usually pay about 160, 170. Like I said, which this depends on usage really. And so that has not changed really since we moved, or since January 2023. That has been constant. It's usually between high 150s and low 170s. The highest I've really paid for water and natural gas has been like, I think, about $172, and that was a very that was a period where we really had high usage. I know. Car insurance, you know, you have to pay for car insurance, and we only have one car. I don't drive yet. I don't drive yet, and that's because I work from home. I really don't have anywhere to go to. My husband is the one that, you know, goes to work. So I've not even written my test yet, guys. Like, I'm ashamed. I know my friends watching this will be like, I'm ashamed to say this, but even my husband watching this. Yeah, guys, but yeah, I've not written my test yet. So we have a car, and insurance on that car used to be $234, and when our insurance expired in November, it increased to $266, and that's because my husband got a ticket, so that increased, and that increased to $266 really. But normally it was about $234, and home insurance as well. When we wanted to rent this house, we were required to have a house insurance for the house. So that also increased, and this is not because of the car insurance. This is just because of inflation, and that increased from $23 per month to $28 per month. Home internet, this also increased, but so let me tell you the backstory. When we first moved here, we're paying $50 for 150 Mbps, and it was slow. And then when our 1-year agreement expired, Fido, we're using Fido, they wanted to increase the price to about 150, and we're like, for the same 150 Mbps? No way. So we shopped around, and guys, this is one thing I also want to say. When you come to Canada, especially for your phone bill or your internet bill, shop around. When I finish this, when I finish telling you how much we pay now, I'll tell you a story I read somewhere, and I'll tell you how this person got the best deal for their phone bill and internet. As of January 2023, we used to pay $50 per month for 150 Mbps, but now we pay $85 for 1 gig. In fact, the internet we used to use, that's Fido, it was so slow that anytime my husband worked from home, my video, anytime I have meetings at work, my internet would just cut off. It was very unstable, and I guess that's because of the speed. But right now we have more reliable internet, and for $85, 1 gigabyte, that's the speed. Yeah, back to the story. So I was reading, somebody was telling me when he came into Canada, and he was trying to shop for internet provider and a phone provider, and so he went to one, and they gave him a particular amount, and then he went to the other one. He called the other one, and he was like, hey, this is what I have. I'm trying to get a SIM card and all that, and this is the offer that I have from this other operator. And the other operator, you know, the new one, would say that, okay, yeah, since you have this, we're going to give you this amount for your bill. And then he would go back to the other one and say, hey, these people have decided to give me this, I'm going to drop you. And those ones would even give him a better deal, and then he'll probably go to another one. You know, that was how it went all around until he got the best deal. And I'm like, I didn't do this when I came. You see why they say that information is important in Canada. Really, join groups, go to Nairaland. I cannot talk about Nairaland enough. Nairaland, WhatsApp group, Telegram groups, Canada Visa, those were the things that helped. Even when we moved, information is key. Move around with immigrants, move around with people, you know, find out information. If you're confused, call, ask questions, guys. Information is key. Really, even when you're immigrating, right? Information is key. So that was how we was able to get the best deal. And guess what, guys? It happened when we're trying to change our internet, right? Because when Fido came back to us and told us we're going to increase our internet bill since the 1 year had elapsed to $150, I was like, $150 for this crappy internet? I was like, no. And you know, we contacted the other provider, that's Bell. We contacted them, and then they told us, oh, we could pay $85. And Fido called us back because we wanted to tell them that we're canceling. So we called them back and we're like, oh, we want to cancel. And they were like, okay, that they were going to give us a deal. And, you know, they tried to give us a better deal. But we're like, no, we're done, because I was even tired of the crappy it's not that their internet is bad, but because they were giving us how much? 150. Yes, they were giving us just 150 meg. It was really erratic, you know. So I was like, I was done. So, but they were really trying to give us a good offer as well, just because they knew we had another offer from another provider. So guys, shop around, especially when it comes to internet and your phone and all that. So yeah, I was on home internet. Phone bill, I currently pay about $45. That's for calls, unlimited text, and 2 gig of internet. Like I said, I work from home. I really don't go out. The only places I go to is maybe I take my kids for extracurricular activities, or we go to church. So at first I was on about, I think, 5 gig or 10 gig, and I was paying about $70 something per month. And then, but I realized that I wasn't even finishing my data at the end of the month, because I was always at home. I was always using the home internet. So I decided to downsize. And guess what, guys? They were giving me offers. When I told them I wanted to downsize, you know, my plan, I wanted to go to the lower one. Fido started badging me with different kinds of discounts just for me to, you know, use more internet. And I said no, I wasn't interested. But yeah, I pay about $45 per month. Sometimes I pay about, let's say, $60. That if I make an international call, you know. But I wouldn't advise anyone to do this international call is just because of work. I won't advise anyone. If you want to make international calls, download an app and do that. So but that has happened just like once or twice, really. That went up to like about $60 or $65. My husband pays about $87 per month, because he's not always home. Like, he goes out, he drives to work, so he needs more data than I do. So and his internet has not increased. It only increases when he also makes international calls or when he receives international calls. Yeah, so that's about all, guys, really. Another thing that I can mention is extracurricular activities. And really, this is not pegged. It depends on your personal, what you like. It's personal. It depends on what you like. So if you have kids, for example, if you want to enroll your kids in like swimming, coding, extracurricular classes, Kumon, anything really. And then if you have like maybe Netflix, Amazon Prime, anything, subscription, Audible, whatever, those are also monthly expenses as well. And honestly, I try to reduce my subscriptions as much as possible, because you realize that most of these subscriptions, you subscribe and you don't use them. So in fact, I remember one that I subscribed and I was not using it. I'd even forgotten, and then I was just going through my account, and then I saw the deduction, and I just went and I was checking. I was like, I was being deducted every month, and I quickly canceled it. So I try as much as possible not to subscribe to what I don't use, you know, except the things that I really use. So most of those things really are personal. So, but most personal subscription or personal things that I do are mainly for my kids, like extracurricular activities. Those are some other bills that can also add up quick as well. So guys, I think that not I think, what do I think? I know that we've come to the end of this video, and guys, please don't forget our goal of 100 subscribers. Thank you for sticking to the end, guys, and please share, like, and subscribe to this video. I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.